30 in there, how much you think it'll be worth?
I don't fucking know.
Like
I'm
50
over this Doge shit. I just get it over with so everybody can just take their money out, get their gains, and put it in other coins. Because I'm just invested in other coins.
I'm just waiting to get a good.
And all my other coins are fucking down. And
everybody putting in Doge. I'm just waiting, man.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for that shit to. Because the last time when it went crazy, like a week ago, I had like maybe 50 or 30 in, and that shit ended up in like 100. I got like a $70.
I was kind of mad. I was kind of mad. I was like up by like $200, and I got a little greedy, and I just kept holding it. I should have sold.
Nah, you should have.
And then literally when the market dropped and everything went so cheap, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm out.
What I regret.
So I sold, and I got a bunch of other coins.
I regret like in January when Doge was like when the hype really first started,
like
when everybody
3 cents.
When everybody like and their mama was on stocks.
Right.
I had like maybe.
It's not a stock.
Well, crypto stock. Well, the stocks and crypto. You know what the fuck I meant.
Yeah. I'm sick and tired of the fucking Wall Street bets.
But you get my point. When Doge was going crazy, I had like 150 in there. If I would have left that 150 in there right now, I'd probably have like 1,000 right now. Because it was Doge.
Might as well just hold it until it gets to $1. So I don't know how much that would be.
Yeah, I'm gonna just leave whatever I got in there
like
and see if it gets to $1. If it gets to $1, then I might make a good, not like no big profit, but it'd be something.
Yeah, it'll be good enough for a burger joint. Anyways, Can't Tell Me Nothing podcast. We're back again, episode 14. Is it 14?
Yeah, last episode was 13.
Oh, okay.
Because last week was 11.
I'm gonna keep doing this count, but until like maybe by the end of this year, I'm gonna start losing fucking counts. Anyways, my name's Try.
Y'all know who I am. I'm not about to say my name again.
Yeah. I'm yellow and he's black. Make sure you like, subscribe. Anyways, so
and turn on your notifications.
Cool. Yeah, do all that good shit. All right, let's start this week. It was something that we were supposed to talk about like a week or two back, but we're gonna talk about it now. It's because I'm kind of interested in this topic, but also just because we're not rich, so we got like normal jobs, so it's kind of like in a realm of I'm not working for Amazon, but So anyways, so we're talking about the issue of union versus Amazon. And so the battle kind of happened a long time ago. It was kind of like building the foundation. Workers were complaining about their work rate. They were saying the warehouses are hot. They were saying that they're not getting paid enough. And they're saying that the work rate and the goals per the day were too high, and it was like unsustainable, and it was virtually impossible to finish your the amount of deliveries that you have to make, or the amount of package that you have to process and all that.
And on top of that, they don't get back. They get left with like little to no time to take bathroom breaks. So most of these people, especially like the Amazon drivers that you see in the big Amazon trucks, most of the motherfuckers is just pissing in bottles.
They're running.
They just pissing in bottles inside their trucks because there's so much demand. They don't have time to actually take breaks and relieve themselves at the restroom or get food or whatever it may be.
Right. So once it started happening, there was a lot of unionized people kind of like setting up places like in front of most of the warehouses, and so it kind of caught a lot of attention of the workers. And so this whole movement has kind of been building and building and building. There's a lot of people that worked for Amazon protesting against Amazon and kind of like joining against this ban of unionized Amazon workers, and they're trying to unionize the whole thing. And for a while, Amazon has always kind of came out kind of like opposing the whole situations. They were not very for unionized worker, and fairly so. A lot of corporations are not very fond of union workers. A lot of the time, unions workers have a lot more leeway because the unions get to dictate and get to kind of like negotiate certain contracts, certain benefits.
When you get a union, you basically get a CBA. Like how in sports you get a CBA, like with the NBA and NFL. When you're in a union, whether you're a police, fucking a teacher, construction worker, whatever the fuck it may be. You guys get basically, may not be called the same thing, but they get like a CBA. They get
Right.
a contract where like they get, no matter what, if you're in a union, you can't just get fired. Like all that shit has to go through like hearings with the union and
Right.
the company. Like you get tenure, you get pension, you get all that. You get required
You don't get
breaks.
pension, but you're not getting.
I mean, not pension, but you get.
They don't really
tenure.
give pensions out like that.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they get paid. Like they can't finesse you because of the union. They can't finesse you because of the union. You got to pay your union dues, but the company can't finesse you.
The company can't finesse you because of the union, but you get finessed by the union. And I'm gonna play into that.
That's a different story, though.
That's a different story because I worked at a Marriott that were technically not union, right?
Are most Marriott's union or something?
There's a few. A lot of the ones in LA were union.
Okay.
And I worked at a one in in Torrance that wasn't. And so I can kind of like my stepsister. She worked for a union hotel, and like there's a lot of with everything. There's negatives and there's positive when it comes to union. When you are in a union, it's basically virtually impossible to get fired, and
that's true.
And that's good for you, but
it's bad for the company.
It's bad for the company,
especially if you're a bad worker.
And I can also argue it's bad for your coworker. Because if you're a bad worker, motherfucker, why are you here? You know?
It affects everybody. It's like the same thing with police officers.
Right.
Because police have a union.
Yeah.
So some unions are bad, some are good, but all unions are, the whole point of unions are to help the workers and not the company.
Right.
But sometimes they don't work the way they're supposed to work.
So
but Amazon needs a union.
So you're for that. Okay, this is a good debate.
You see what they be see what they be doing to these workers, bro?
This is a good debate.
You don't think they need a union?
Yeah, and I'm gonna explain my reason why. I'm gonna explain my reason why. Okay?
I gotta hear this.
I'm gonna explain my reason why. All right, so but let me explain the whole situation with Amazon. So this thing goes back and forth for a very long time. There's a lot of people that want to unionize Amazon workers, and Amazon has spent a shit ton of money fighting back against this whole movement, and they really don't want this unionized to come through because they want to dictate the payroll and they want to dictate the negotiations when it comes to the workers and all that, right? And so recently Amazon won the battle between Amazon and unions 2-1 decisively, and so as of right now, unionized workers for Amazon seems like a long fetch, just because the company has never kind of gave them the leadway in order to create that become a reality. So
it's because in reality, Amazon workers are technically like, they're like us Uber Eats workers. You're still an independent contractor in a sense.
Well, not if you work at the warehouse.
If you work, I mean,
you're not an independent contractor if you work at the warehouse.
Like, I mean,
that's not how it works. But anyways, did you want to state your case as to why you believe that why you need that Amazon workers need to have a union, and then I'll state my case as to why, or you want me to go first?
I'll give you a perfect example. I don't know if it went through, but it was like a whole thing maybe a couple months ago where they was talking about a lot of Amazon shifts are going to be shipped to where most people have to come in at 1 a.m. and work till like pretty much noon. So pretty much, what is that, a 10-hour shift, 11-hour shift almost? And Amazon was trying to make that mandatory for all the warehouse workers. How the fuck you gonna make an 11-hour shift the mandatory like minimum shift, but you can't give these people like the basic like workers' rights, like breaks, like benefits and all that shit? Yes, they need a union because Amazon is exploiting these workers. Like I fuck with Amazon. I use Amazon all the time. Don't get me wrong, but they're exploiting the workers. You don't gotta work for Amazon to know that. I know people that work for Amazon. They're 1,000% exploiting the workers, whether you work in the warehouse or you're doing the delivery in the trucks or in your own car. They're exploiting them. They give these people, like, let's take out the warehouse workers out the equation because we know how they exploit them because they're the warehouse workers. They're packing the trucks and all that bullshit. When it comes to the people in the trucks or people who do Amazon, where you use your own car and you go to Amazon hub and pick up the packages and deliver them, they exploit these people. They have you driving all over the fucking, like I'll use the homie for example. You know what I'm talking about. When he used to work for Amazon, I used to sometimes just go with him just to like back him up. He would have orders.
Wait. Pause. Are you talking about Amazon workers who's driving their own cars, or are you talking about
Both.
Amazon workers who has the truck?
Both.
Okay.
Like I know people
You got to go with the truck?
I know people. I didn't get to go with the truck. Obviously, I went with people with their own cars, but I know people who used to work when they worked in the truck. Bro, they'll have you drive. You'll start your route. You'll start your route. You'll be. Let's say you start your route in PV.
Right.
They give you so much bullshit. You'll fuck around and end up in Burbank.
Right.
I want you to do. You know how far
With their car.
even in your car. It don't matter, your car or their car.
Okay.
You know how, but they give you so much shit that you never get the time to take a break. There's never time for you to stop and go eat. There's never time for you to stop and use the restroom. You just literally on the road for like 8 hours, 9 hours straight with no time to actually like take a break and like even like a 10-minute break just to like, relax, get some food, use the restroom, and then get back on the road. They don't even give you that. So yes, I think Amazon workers need a union because Amazon they're exploiting these workers.
Okay.
Like I mean I get it. It's like you signed up for the job, but come on now, you got to give people at least time to take a break, and they don't give them that. Like I said, I could go find an article right now where it talks about Amazon workers fucking pissing in bottles because they don't have enough time to take a break on their route.
Right.
And I'm not talking about the people in the warehouse. I'm talking about the people who are doing the deliveries.
Okay.
So that like, how would you feel if at your job they said you can't use the restroom and you work at a bank? So how would you feel at your job you had to stand behind your fucking counter and just piss in a bottle?
They never said that you can't use the restroom. The one thing is that
but with Amazon, it's your routes are timed.
The way
they're timed. So it's not like they say you can't use it, but if you don't, if you use the restroom and then you miss your route and you do that a couple times, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna get fired because you were using the restroom, and that's not fair to the workers. You got to be able to use the restroom. Come on now.
Right.
You shouldn't be like, oh well, no, you should have went before work. What are you talking about? If I gotta piss, I gotta piss.
Right. No. And I'm gonna take their words on it, and they came out and they're like, yo, you know what? Like, if you guys gotta use the restroom, y'all gotta use the restroom. Like, the time will be. And they came out, and I don't know if you noticed, but if you ever order stuff from Amazon, and it was stated to come in today, let's say today 5 p.m. and it never came in, and they're gonna send you a email, and they're like, oh, it's probably gonna come in tomorrow or another day, and that's beginning to happen a lot more with Prime, just because like they're not. The company has came out and said they're not trying to push the time limit on workers as much as it was before,
because they were under fire for it. Not to interrupt you, but if that whole article a couple months back, like in the not the beginning of the pandemic, in the beginning of this year,
right?
If that whole article didn't come out where there was something about the Amazon workers that were driving the trucks weren't even able to use the restroom because of the way they were pressured by their supervisors and whatever, and the way their routes were set up, they never had time. If that article never came out, you think Amazon would care about this? No, they wouldn't.
Right?
They wouldn't have eased off. These workers would still be pissing in water bottles.
Well, the reason why I'm with Amazon, sorry,
I'm a Republican.
I'm with the corporation.
I'm fucking with y'all.
And I would tell you my little rant later when it comes to corporation in America. And all the broke people always seems to have issues with corporations. I don't know why. But I sometimes have issue, but not in that like crazy liberal mood.
The corporations don't give a fuck about. I don't want to use
broke.
Hold on.
Here, all right. Let me state my case.
Let's use a better word than broke.
Let me state my case, okay?
Let's use a better word than broke. I don't want to say broke. Let's say the lower class.
Okay. Let me state my case.
Let's use euphemism.
Let me state my case. All right, let me state my case, motherfucker.
Right, go ahead.
All right. So the reason why I'm like the union came to the Amazon workers with not a very conclusive plan of how are they gonna help these workers. One, fucked me up there. Imagine if I'm gonna put myself as an Amazon worker shoes. you come to me with your quote unquote people who are trying to unionize this and da 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 da, but you don't have a conclusive plan beside, hey, we're gonna try to raise your minimum work by $5. Now, if you don't know anything about union, the one thing about union, sure, you can't get fired, but another thing is you got to pay a fee to be in a union. So how much is that fee? Don't know. It
depends on the union. It depends on what job you're working.
Right. But they didn't. But the unionized people didn't state that. So what if?
Well, this is a whole new union, so that's something they still have to work out.
That's why I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that.
I have to make sure.
So what if this thing goes through and then they say, hey, we're gonna take about $60 out of your paycheck? Because I was offered a job at Marriott, and they're like, the union is like, oh yeah, you gotta pay like $24 a week for a union fee. I was like, no, fuck that. I don't want to be in union. That's one thing. Now, so that's one thing.
You're gonna get that. Let me interrupt you real quick. I'm gonna do it quick so you get back on topic. But when you pay those union fees, obviously, like you getting that on the back end. Like if it's $24 a week, $30 a week, $60 a week, whatever it may be. You getting that on the back end when it comes into benefits, when it comes into just other shit that the union like.
I'm gonna stop you there with the benefits. I'm gonna stop you there with the benefits. So people always think just because you're in unions you get fire benefits. That's not the case in all like.
I wouldn't say fire.
I say fire benefits.
I wouldn't say fire.
Okay, well you get benefits. People think that you get benefits, like good benefits, right? But that's not always the case. When it comes to the unions, sure, you see like the NBA and all that, but that's the thing is the players have a lot of power. When it comes to these workers, that's not the case, right? So the negotiation kind of works.
Let's use a better example. Construction workers have a lot of power in their unions. Police officers have a lot of power in their unions. Doctors,
I'm talking about Amazon here.
That's why I'm trying to take it away from NBA. That's a whole different bracket. The NBA players are making millions of dollars. I'm trying to bring it to occupation.
The teachers
cool,
even somewhat they're still not getting paid great.
But they might not be getting paid great, but they still have a lot of power.
Officers not getting paid that great.
That's not the point. I'm not talking about the money. They have power.
They lost pension though.
They have. Read my lips. They have power when it comes to their unions. If we're talking strictly about teachers and police officers. They have power. What are you talking about?
Right,
there's a whole teacher thing going on right now.
I know.
And then police. Yeah. We already know what police officers do. Like, come on now.
Okay.
We're not gonna do that. They have power when it comes to their union. Even construction workers. You get hurt as a construction worker, these motherfuckers sit out for a year and a half and still be getting cashed out. So I mean, yes, not all unions are good, but it's certain unions for the regular average Joe that aren't sports unions where these people have power, and they not even if they're not making. Like police officers, construction workers make like 70,000 a year. Go ahead. I have to let you know.
Can I state my case? All right.
I have to let you know.
Here I am trying to defend a corporation. You can call me capitalism to the max. All you want. I'm not a Marxist. Or what is it? What do you call it?
Socialist, a communist, a Marxist.
No, yeah, I'm neither any of that. I like capitalism the way it is.
Unless it's Bernie socialism, then I'm a socialist. I'm not a socialist.
I like Bernie. Let's not get that fixed. Anyways, so yeah, no. Like so they didn't really have they didn't really have a plan with many steps and as far as like diving deep.
I agree with that.
Over just the wage. That was like their big thing. But with the $5 an hour. But if you're taking the fee away, that's a lot. And another thing is that Amazon was already offering like benefits for their full-time workers. So sometimes when you have these corporations dealing with union, a lot of the times, I hate it. Is this fly? Yeah. A lot of times the benefits will decline once a place starts to unionize itself. For example, like I know so many places where I have fire benefits compared to my sister who's in a place where it's unionized where they don't have fire benefits and that are very, very strict on the benefits that they're willing to give out to their workers because they do have the corporations have to comply so much with the union standards that they can't comply with all the benefits.
You just explained why.
What?
You just explained why they don't get certain unions don't get the better benefits because they have to comply with the corporations. Right. The corporations have to comply with certain things.
Right.
So when a union gets involved,
that was my case. That was my case as to why I don't like unions. I'm just saying, for me, maybe if you like union, you like union. But there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that were in Amazon that didn't want the union, just because. Another thing here's with Amazon,
like with Uber Eats, a lot of people didn't want the Prop 22,
right? Because they want the freedom. They want but with
Uber Eats, even with Prop 22 passed, we still get the freedom. And like, for example, like if I do a certain amount of orders, so for example, if I was to go out right now from 5 to 11 and complete 20 deliveries on Uber Eats, I get an extra $100, and I didn't get that before Prop 22 passed. Mm-hmm. So I could get the things where a lot of people don't like Prop 22, but it came with a lot of perks. Like before with Uber Eats, you could do 20 orders. Like, okay, if I go do 10 orders in a day, I'll get $100. If I go do like 14 to 20, I'll make around close to $200 in a day.
Right.
So if I do that 14 to 20 orders and make $200 in a day, and I get the perks if I and then because of the Prop 22, I go out and do 20 orders, I get an extra 100. So I make $200 and get an extra 100 on top of the 200 I made in that day. And I could fuck around if I get lucky. See, here's the thing. If I get lucky with Uber Eats,
let's get back to the Amazon. Let's get back to Amazon. So what I was trying to say is that, like, okay, sure, the work environment is tough and all that, but you got to account that if you live in a place and Amazon has like a shit ton of warehouses in that place, you know how so many jobs that Amazon is generating within that area, and a lot of warehouses are in. No, 100%. Wait, hold on. 1,000%.
No, I'm not interrupting you. Keep going.
A lot of places where Amazon decide to put their warehouses are in lower income communities, and they're like they're providing a lot of jobs for people who find a struggle finding other jobs. So
especially in this climate with COVID,
right? Thousands and thousands of jobs. And here's another thing that I truly respect Amazon for doing this tweet, but they were getting fucking kicked from politician. And look, your favorite politician don't really love you, okay?
Unless it's AOC. Because she loves us, and I love AOC.
You just like the way she looks. Anyways.
No, I love AOC.
But politician was always shitting.
Don't say that. I have a girlfriend. What's wrong with you?
Politician was always shitting on Amazon about, like, oh, you don't pay your workers well, and blah, 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 blah. And all that shit. And the CEO of Amazon, the CFO of Amazon tweeted back with the most fire tweet I ever seen. He said, hey, look, instead of talking, basically, I'm going to sum it up, not exactly how it went. He said, hey, basically, stop fucking talking shit about us. You asked us to do a lot of things. We did it. We provide benefits for our workers. One, we raise our Amazon worldwide, nationwide minimum work wage to $15. Okay? We did everything that you told us to do. We comply with your rules. Now, if you want to do something about it, federal government, how about you raise your $7.25 federal minimum wage up? Then we speak. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's a ball drop. No, why is the government always talking shit on these corporations? You know why they like to do that?
It's not just Amazon. It's all falls back on the government. It's not just Amazon. And that's my thing. I wouldn't just say it was just Amazon. Like in California, we're spoiled. Our minimum wage is like what, $12 to $15. I know sometimes in OC
it's like 13. Yeah.
In certain places in OC,
and
it's
if
like
you work in LA, most of the time you'll probably get 15 to 16. Yeah.
And you could go look in Texas and other parts of the country, their minimum wage is like $7 to $9. Like,
right. So if you work for Amazon in those places, you're getting paid more than minimum wage. So it's like, I'm sick and tired of these fucking politicians always dragging down corporations, especially with my lovely Amazon, because I like my fucking Prime. And if anybody's fucking talk shit about it, all right, talk shit about it. But if I see you order anything from Amazon, shut the fuck up.
See,
because you're a hypocrite. I know so many people who talk shit about Amazon, then go and get this fucking 2-day shipping and talk shit about Jeff Bezos who don't pay taxes. Go talk shit to the government for having so many tax loopholes.
My thing is,
that's why he didn't pay no fucking taxes. All right.
My thing is though,
Don't talk shit about my Amazon.
My thing though, if you gonna talk shit about Jeff Bezos and talk about Amazon and how they mistreat their workers or whatever,
bunch of hypocrites.
You can't. I don't want to. You can't go on Amazon, and I'm a hypocrite. I sometimes.
I don't talk shit because I have Prime. I don't get to say a damn thing.
I won't say I talk shit, but I do understand where the workers are coming from. But at the same time, I do use Amazon, so it would be wrong for me.
No,
to talk
I do
shit.
understand the workers, but the thing is, as a worker, I've worked in a lot of places. I know what the fuck I signed up for. I know what the fuck I signed up for. Just like anybody who signed a contract, I know what the fuck I signed up for. And every job comes with negative. If you don't like it, leave. It is what it is. That's how. That's how the world. That's how the world works.
That's like the same thing with people who work in the food industry. Like
right. I was a server. I was a busser. I was a bartender. Hold on. Shit's hard.
That's a whole different conversation. When it comes, they still need to pay waitress and servers and shit more. They shouldn't have to live off of tips. But at the same time, they shouldn't be so fucking like they shouldn't be so critical if a customer doesn't tip them. Like if the customer is paying the restaurant, that's all that matters. Your job should be paying you to where you shouldn't have to live off of tips. Tips are a bonus. I don't give a fuck about that.
I will argue that. No. I will argue that. Pause. Let me explain. Bro, I was a server, I was a busser, and I was a bartender. Let me explain.
Fuck.
Let me explain to you.
You don't understand. You don't understand how many times I went to restaurants and like we get seated and we might get good service when we get seated, but once we get seated, the waiter don't come back till another 20 minutes to take our order. We don't get our food till another hour. They don't come to check in.
That's a bad server then.
So stop expecting a tip. Stop as a server. I don't give a fuck if you're a good server or a bad server.
If you're a bad server, then stop expecting a tip. Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if you're a good server. Stop expecting a tip because that's an option.
That's
something that the
motherfucker. You should. Hey, if you're not gonna tip,
I always tip. Don't get me wrong. I tip now. I used to not tip.
If you're not gonna tip,
no, hold on.
Don't eat out.
No. Shut up.
I was a server and a bartender and a busser. If you're not gonna tip, don't eat out. Stay your broke ass home. I stay my broke ass home and cook because I don't want to tip.
Don't listen to this idiot. Let me explain. Let me break it down for you right here. Do you? Go ahead. Let me break it down for you right here.
Right.
Do you tip when you go to a clothing store?
No.
People barely tip their barbers. Do you tip your barber? I tip my barber now. I didn't used to do that when I was younger.
Bro, have you ever served?
Let me finish.
Or bartend?
Can you just let me finish my point?
No.
You're gonna let me finish.
No, I said no. I don't. We don't tip in those places.
You don't. So you don't tip your barber.
Oh, I do tip my barber. I tip my barber. So
do you tip when you go to Foot Locker or any clothing store when an associate helps you out? No, the fuck you don't.
No, because that person's get
and guess what? That's not on
commission.
The fucking. Guess what? That's not on the fucking customer. So fuck all that. Leave your broke ass shit at home. The restaurant and the government needs to fix that minimum wage to pay servers more, not the customer. It's not. I don't give a fuck if you don't got no money to tip. Fuck everything you saying, and don't get me wrong, because I hear people say this shit all the time. Fuck all that shit. It is not on the customer to pay for your wage. You signed up for that fucking job. No, hold on. Wait. Hold on. You signed up for that job as a waiter, as a server, as a bartender, whatever it is. I get it. Yeah, you're supposed to tip. That's common courtesy. Go anywhere overseas.
No.
Go anywhere overseas. Go anywhere.
There's places here where you have to tip though.
No, that's not right. Because if you go anywhere overseas,
the places require you to tip
because they paying y'all $3 in fucking hour.
Well,
they should not be paying y'all $3 an hour.
Bro,
I don't give a fuck. No.
Bro, hold on. Let me explain. Quick. I'm gonna give you 25 seconds as to why I rather you could as a server and a bartender. I've been through it, right? I'm okay if they pay me the minimum wage.
No.
What I'm not okay with is the tax difference on tip workers,
and that's not on the customers. That's on your.
That's what I'm saying. It's on the government. It's not on the people.
So you can't say that. Oh, if you can't tip, stay your broke ass at home. People, just because you can't tip doesn't mean that
if you can't tip, stay your broke ass at home.
Listen to this idiot.
Because you don't understand the job. That servers have to do and bartenders have to do.
And that's not the customer's fault.
We're not selling. We're not making the fucking food. We're doing other things besides making the food.
Fault though.
But you want to go eat outside and have an experience, right?
But you're at a job. But when you're a bartender, or a server, whatever, or waitress, whatever it may be, You're not an independent contractor. You're at a job where you have to be there for the 8
I know,
hours.
but the
You have
job
to be
comes
there
with
for
the territory of tipping. Once you go out to eat or go get a drink at the bar, tipping
here's the example.
goes
Here's the
with
example.
it.
No, it's not. Tipping does not go with it because if you
You just a broke ass motherfucker over here talking that don't want to tip.
You see, he don't want to let me finish because he knows my point is going to be right. And
go ahead, make your point.
Because this is what. Because you always talk about Americans being spoiled. This is exactly why Americans are spoiled. If you go overseas, go anywhere in Europe.
The tips are included.
No, that's not.
Yes, it is.
Let me finish talking. Because I can go on social media and know people who are waitresses. I know people who are waitresses overseas. And I've had conversations with people who are waitresses overseas on social media. The tipping is not included. Overseas, they pay you the minimum wage. That's not $3 a fucking hour. So if you get a tip, that's a fucking bonus. It's not included. You're getting paid to where if you don't get a tip, you're still going to be able to live. You're still going to be able to pay your rent. You're still going to be able to pay bills. That is America where they make it seem like you have to get tipped. It's not broke people's fault or whatever the fuck you want to call it that in America that they paying fucking servers $3 an hour. That's not our fault. That's your fault for taking that stupid ass. I would I would personally never work as a server if I know that I'm gonna have to live off of tips. Fuck that bullshit. I'll go work at fucking Walmart. I'll go work at CVS. Where I know I'm getting $15 an hour.
Don't say $3 because federal is $7.25.
I'm exaggerating, but you get the point. When you're a server, if $7 an hour, but you do all the taxes and all that bullshit, it might as well be $3 an hour. No,
my issue.
That's not the customer's fault. I don't give a fuck if they can't afford to tip. Servers should be getting paid minimum wage, which is $15 an hour. They shouldn't be getting paid $9.
Well, the minimum wage right now federally isn't 15 though.
We live in California.
Okay,
so I'm talking straight.
Well, in California, 13.
We could do
13 in California.
Okay, but you're not getting paid 13 as a server. No, not all servers.
Well, I was.
Okay, but when you do all the taxes and all that bullshit,
it goes back to the taxing issue.
And how is that that's not the customer's fault?
Well, I'm not okay.
So you can't say stay your broke ass at home if you can't tip.
Okay, I get it. If you
still paying the money to afford the food.
All right, I get it. If you want to
fuck about you, that's your fault that you chose to work a job where they taxing you crazy.
Okay,
that's not my fault, and I tip. I used to not tip, but I tip now. But that's not my fault. Even if you get good service, I'm a tip.
You delivery driver, right?
I don't give a fuck if niggas don't tip because guess what? The tip is an extra. Most of my deliveries are worth $10, worth $8 on Uber Eats.
That's different though. When it comes to serving, that's not the case.
And that's not the customer's fault.
Whoa.
That's not the customer's fault. You cannot. People struggle. You can't. No, listen. Hold on.
But there's an average. I know.
That's pocket
tipping,
watching.
I know tipping is the option, but there's an average. There's an average advice of at least 10 to 15% every time you tip.
Yes.
You don't have to tip the 18. That's fine. I'm perfectly fine if people don't tip 18%. But motherfucker, 10%.
Most people would tip the 10 to 15, but sometimes it's broke people. They just want to go out and have fun with their family.
Stay your broke ass at home.
No, you can't do that. That's not their fault. That's a whole different conversation outside of Amazon,
bro.
But you can't do that. You can't do that because that's not their fault. That's something we need to talk about with the government, with these companies that aren't paying the workers. That's a whole nother labor thing.
But you don't think when it comes to you're not, because you've never been a server or a bartender, so you never see this aspect of the work.
But I know a lot of people who are.
You're talking one right now, okay? You're talking to one right now.
And I have these conversations all the time.
Okay, here's the thing when it comes to servers and bartenders, right? Now, we're getting away from the Amazon. We'll get right back to it in like
the same thing.
2 minutes. But the one thing about serving and bartending is that, yes, you have a criteria in the job, right? Mm-hmm. But the fact that you're dealing with this customer, and if this customer is giving you shit every 2, 3, 5 minutes, it's not a part of the job. They're giving you a lot more shit that's like beyond what the job is asking or requiring for you to do.
Exactly.
Right? So therefore, that's why there's a tip incentive. And also, you're selling them the food. The food makes the company the revenue. Mm-hmm. You don't make money off the food that you're selling.
And I'm gonna let you know when you fucked up.
If you're a bartender, you're the one making the drinks.
Exactly.
That's the different side of just
listen.
Not producing, just having the liquor on availability.
Listen, okay, hold on. Let me stop. I mean, not to stop you, but I'm all. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for tips. Like, if waiters are doing their job, like, okay, let me use an example. The other day I went to Chili's. I was eating by myself. It was this. I went to Chili's by my house. This waiter. She was basically the only waiter there. The rest of the people were like the food makers and like the bus boys or whatever. She was the only server. So like it was an old couple. It was a couple people like in there tripping because they wanted certain seats and they couldn't get them because of COVID and shit. There's still a line. Like they're not just gonna give that seat away because there was people ahead of them. And they said, she asked them, "Do you want this seat because there's people ahead of you? But since you guys are older, she like got them ahead and gave them like a bar seat or whatever." They tried to get a booth. She told them, "There's people ahead of you. I can't just give you a booth because there's already people ahead of you." They complained. They made her life a living hell. And I was sitting there eating my food, watching this, and I'm like, and drinking my alcoholic drink. And I'm like, okay, I'm a tipper because she's still constantly checking on me, even though she's dealing with these dickheads. So yeah, I tipped her. I gave her 18 or 20%. But I didn't have to. I could have gave her as 15 or nothing. But she did her job. So yes, but you have, like, the thing is, when it comes to America, you waitresses, you servers, you bartenders, you guys are so entitled that you guys just feel like every person has to give you a tip. And I go out and eat a lot. Even if I don't give tips, my girl a tip if I go out with my girl.
Oh.
But hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
But when I go out to eat, and I'm not just using myself as an example because I'm black or anything or that, because I even see it like if I'm going out to eat and I look at other people's in their booths. 6 times out of 10, waitresses and servers are just going through the motions. They're not doing the extra that really deserves that tip.
Right.
So I get it. Yes, you should tip them because like they're not just serving you. They're serving other people. They're doing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not on us to pay your fucking paycheck. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. If I don't tip you, you can't be mad at me and tell me to stay my broke ass at home.
Well,
you need to be talking to your boss and asking him why he's only paying you $7
I guess I'm just talking from a perspective of a person that's like willing to work.
And I understand that perspective.
So like I've been in so many scenarios where I've done so fucking much and like I'm like, oh, you just stiff me, especially like I don't know if you're gonna explain this, but especially like on a $200-$300 tab and you tip $0, you know, like come on, bro, the amount. I get that now. No, but the thing is, this is similar to every other. We get so jaded because literally you could come in at like, let's say you come in at 10, right? Mm-hmm. And literally I got stiffed on like 3 fucking tables of like $150 tab. And that has happened to me so many times. Okay. And I've like done the most that I can. And then there's also times where it's like I fucking get paid. I get tipped like that extra 20%, or I get tipped nicely or more than I expected. It's great. But also sometimes like it's just a natural human instinct where like you just had a rough day and you trying so fucking hard, because I know for me, like if I don't get tipped, I'm just trying harder and harder. But if I having like a $300 check and 0 tip and then you come in, I'm gonna be like, fuck, okay, let's try again, but today's just a bad day.
And let me use an example for you. I used to work at Walmart. I was a cashier. We don't get tipped as cashiers. Even the people who work at Walmart or all these superstores, whether it's Lowe's, Home Depot, Target, whatever you want to call it. Right. These people, the people who like do the baskets, who have to come in. When you work at Walmart, Target, stores like that, when you out there corralling the carts, that's not just your job of corralling the carts. When you're out there, you have to, if they radio in the walkie-talkie, you have to go in there like say there's somebody who bought a fucking 70-inch TV. Say there's somebody at Walmart or Target who bought a 70-inch TV, right? So say you're like 56 years old and you buy a 70-inch. Most likely when you're at the register paying for that 70-inch as a cashier, we're gonna radio somebody outside who's corralling the carts to come in and help you take that 70-inch to your car. Because if you're like 60, 70, 50, you're not gonna be able to take that by yourself.
Right.
Guess what? That's not really in their job description. They're only supposed to corral carts, but because older people and certain people can't really do that shit by themselves, they've been given that extra job. They can't accept tips. As a cashier, you don't think when I used to work at Walmart and used to deal with bullshit, people used to cuss me out all the time because they got expired coupons or whatever. I used to have bad days too. Guess what? I can't fucking get tips. I have to just take whatever pay I was getting that day. So just because you a fucking server and you having a bad day because people are being assholes, doesn't mean that you just deserve a tip. Because if that's the case, I can make an example that security guards, that people who work at these grocery stores and people are being dickheads, and you see it all the time. You know, people be in grocery stores being dickheads when they're at the register, whatever it may be. All these people deserve tips too, and they don't get these tips.
Right.
And I could go down a list of all jobs where people don't get tips.
I worked at Walmart before.
But you get my point. I could go down the list where people deserve tips and they don't get them because of their job. But that's not on the customer. That's not on the server either. That's on your job.
But once you start working in the food and beverage industry, your eyes open to different things. So I've been in the food and beverage industry.
I'm dual breed. You don't think I live off of tips? But most of my money I make is off of tips.
Okay, but the difference between a server is like, bro, if you're the customer and you're asking me 30 times, I have to come to you for 30 times.
That's not true. That's not true. Because I be in restaurants and
motherfucker's not gonna tip me if I don't come back 30 times.
Listen, hold on. I'll be in restaurants sometimes and my server is so busy with other people that I can't even get to them. I have to ask somebody else just walking by, hey, can I get the check? Hey, can you refill my water? And it's not on the server because like you said, they're fucking focused. I'm not the only table that they are dealing with. They're dealing with other tables.
I guess I'm just more understanding because I was in the field for like 3-4 years, so I just fucking know like the amount of and like the amount of fucking verbal abuse that we go through.
No, you guys, like everybody, waiters.
We get shitted on. When you were a bartender and you're drunk people giving you shit.
1,000%.
Like,
listen, I agree with that.
It's a fucking lot.
But here's my thing. It goes back, like I said, I know a lot of people who I talk to on social media who do server jobs and they're not in the Americas, they're overseas in UK or whatever it may be. But guess what? In the UK, yeah, they might flourish off of tips, but guess what? Their minimum wage, they're getting paid enough to where if they don't get tipped, they can still pay their rent. They're not so fucking worried about a tip. Like if they don't get tipped, they still getting the minimum wage to where they can pay their rent that month. They're not gonna be short because they didn't get a lot of tips that month. And that's where America needs to
so let's tie that back to the Amazon thing.
And it goes for Amazon too. Like it goes with the union and everything. You gotta start paying workers.
It goes for Amazon, but the reason why I'm kind of on Amazon side just because like, hey, look, they're providing thousands and thousands of jobs. Each warehouse is thousands and thousands of jobs. Are the government giving out?
If you're not paying the workers, it don't matter.
They're paying 15. It's more than what.
Okay, no. In Amazon's case, yeah, I was just speaking.
So we're talking about Amazon here, right? So like, let's say you live in the boonies a little bit, where the Amazon houseware is, right? Amazon's gonna be paying more than if you're working at a fast food joint or if you're working at retail. Retail's paying like 13.
Depends where you're working.
Yeah, depends. I'm saying that, like they're gonna the price they're paying their worker will be competitive no matter where they're located because most of the time their locations are in low income communities. So once you're in low income communities, $15 is a competitive wage. Now, if the government wants to fucking do something about it, how about you raise the $7.225 up to $15, and then Amazon can raise that up to $20. But if you're not gonna raise your $7, Amazon's like, we're like $8 above your average. Why would we raise more? So like it kind of falls back on the government. Stop talking shit about the corporation.
Which is my point.
How about you do something about it?
Which my point, because I agree with you, but I just couldn't let you do that about when you brought up like the restaurant. I couldn't let you do
the broke people should stay in. Yeah,
because that's not fair to broke. Like
I'm just saying that out of frustration of many nights of serving.
But my thing is, because like I said, I used to not tip, but as I got older and moved out of my
you should know better.
I tip now, but my thing is, you can't blame it on broke people. That's not their fault. That like.
But broke people be expecting a lot when they fucking go out to eat.
Not all broke people. Listen. Bro, I get what you're saying. Hold on.
You get to say it, but I'm gonna say it. When I was working at Marriott, I was dealing with business people who are on business trip, tipping 30% and giving me no shit. Mm-hmm. Broke motherfucker give me all the shit and tip $2
because.
Stay your ass at home.
It's not that. I get what you're saying, but it's not that. It's because. Like, if I'm paying $500 for a room per night, I don't give a fuck about no tip. I'm paying $500. y'all should be doing y'all
That's why I
job.
like rich motherfuckers.
I
I respect rich people.
I agree
I
with
like
you.
rich people. I don't talk shit
I
about
agree
no
with
rich
you.
people.
I agree with you, but you can't.
You can avoid all the taxes, motherfuckers.
But you can't do that when it comes to broke people because it's not on the rich people or the broke people to pay your bills with that tip. It's on your job. That's the reason you got the job, to pay the bills.
No, it's on a courtesy because if the server sucked,
it's not on a courtesy.
if the server sucks,
No,
you
listen.
don't have to tip.
If the server, and that's my point. If the service sucks, don't tip. If the service is good, you should tip.
No, I agree.
But here, hold on. Let me finish.
You don't need to.
If the service is good, you should tip. And as I matured, like when I'm immature, young, yeah, I'm not a tip. I ain't got the money for that. But as I got older, I'm like, yeah, the service is good. Like I'm a tip. They're out here working hard because I just understand it just from working more. But that doesn't mean that you're obligated to a tip. Some people can't afford it, and that sucks. Like I get it. Like it sucks. Like you worked your ass off and you didn't get tipped. But that's not on you, and that's not on the person that's supposed to tip you. That's on the person that's paying you. They're supposed to give you they're supposed to be.
Well, they're paying
you.
me the minimum wage. So according to law, that's okay.
Okay. Well, let's use us for example. Even with waitresses in California, waiters and all that, and servers and bartenders in California. Let's take out the rest of the country.
Right.
California's minimum wage is $15. As a waitress,
no, it's not 13.
13. Okay, $13 is gonna go up to 15 soon or whatever it may be.
Right.
But still, in California, as a waitress, as a server, as a food,
You getting paid 13.
no, you're not.
I
No,
was.
the fuck, you're not.
I was.
Yeah, you're not. When you do all the taxes, you're not getting paid 13 as a waitress.
Well, that's the thing. Nobody's getting paid 13 after the taxes.
When I worked security, I was getting paid 13 even after the taxes. Like,
Well,
I mean, I was still getting every 2 weeks. I was getting enough to pay the rent.
But California is still taking away like 14 or 15% of your tax.
I was still, even when they take away that 15, I was still getting enough to pay the rent. As whereas
I know
people
just barely enough.
no.
Okay, well, how much was the rent back then?
If you spending your money right, then you can.
My
pay the
rent.
My rent was a lot back then, but
My rent was high now.
I was managing my money enough to pay
Fucking
rent.
high now, California. Maybe California should fucking lower their tax.
California is expensive, so I mean, it might be a bad example.
Jesus Christ! Don't fucking raise
Okay,
taxes, California.
My whole point is,
Stupid shit.
all of this stuff is on the companies. You can't put this on the consumer because it's not the consumer's job.
I wasn't okay.
I'm not saying you, but
besides the tipping, I wasn't putting it so much on the consumer. Besides the tipping, my thing is when it comes to eating out, right? If the server sucks, you're not obligated to tip. But if the serving is good and you're just being
you're not obligated to tip. Hey, man, what do you? No, don't do that because no, I can't let you do that because I've worked a lot of jobs where I've ran into people who I know have the money. I've worked in areas where I know, like Manhattan Beach, these areas where these people who live in these areas have the money and they just don't want to tip because they're being cheap. And I know they have the money because, for example, when I used to work at Fry's, when we used to do certain sales, we used to look up these people addresses.
Well, that's some fucked up people.
You live in Palos Verdes.
The other day I went and got my beer refilled. I tipped up for $8 just to refill my beer.
Exactly. Even when even if I go around the corner to pick up food.
How much does it cost to refill a beer?
I get that, but my point is like you can't just say it's broke people because if I look up your fucking address and you live in Palos Verdes, there's no way you broke. You're not living in Palos Verdes, broke.
I mean, some people will probably some people will probably like there's some people who are probably like scathing through the tin just for a nice house.
You are not. I don't give a fuck. You talking about living check to check. You are not living in Palos Verdes, broke.
That's true.
So if you're just being cheap, you're just cheap. It has nothing to do with your financial status.
Don't eat out if you cheap.
You can't say that. People can be cheap. People
you don't have to tip that much if you order to go.
But that's not fair because you should be tipping delivery drivers too. And I'm not even talking about Uber Eats. I'm talking about like the pizza man. You should be tipping your pizza man too. So you can't even say that.
I do tip my pizza man.
So you can't even say that. So you can't say, oh, it's cheaper when you, because if that's the case, if they're giving good service, you should be tipping regardless.
No, I'm saying that because usually when you do order, you're not ordering for like 10, 12 people. When you go eat out, you order for a lot more people, and there's rounds of food and there's rounds of drinks. So when you have
that.
when you have rounds,
if it's a shit ton of people and it's rounds and rounds,
that's
different. Yeah, you should be.
That's
tipping.
Another thing. That's why when you do eat out, there's a lot of rounds. And it's like fuck, this person's here for 3 hours.
Okay, but if you're just going with your family, it's a family of 3, and y'all just going to eat real quick at a restaurant, and you can't tip. What are you talking about? Like you can't say, oh, they broke because they couldn't tip me. Like you shouldn't be relying on a tip, motherfucker. Go ahead and get a job that pays you. I get that, and you should tip. Don't get me wrong. I've changed my tune. I've always was against tipping because, like, in my head, I was like, well, it's not my job to pay your bills, but you should tip people when they work hard, especially in the industries where they
when motherfuckers run around just to get your drink in time, but at the same time,
it shouldn't fall on the customer. Like these companies need to start paying these servers better. Same thing with Amazon. They need to start paying these people better. If not paying them better, give them better benefits.
They do give them benefits.
Benefits aren't that good because
they do get 401ks and they do get health care.
When I looked at the benefits when I was trying to work for Amazon, they were all right. They weren't
okay, but are they better than like Uber Eats or they're better?
Nope. Because Uber Eats, like I have car insurance, I have health insurance, but with Uber Eats they give you health insurance. If you don't have car insurance now because of Prop 22, they give you car insurance. You just got to sign up. They give you all this shit. If you get hurt. They'll pay workers' comp pretty much. If you get hurt on the job doing Uber Eats, if I get in a car crash right now, if I go work tomorrow and do Uber Eats,
you get the same. You get the same thing. I was reading with Amazon. If you get hurt, you get benefits.
That's not true.
That is true.
I know people who've worked with Amazon and gotten hurt and didn't get shit.
Well, I don't know. Based on what I fucking read, but anyways, when it comes to unions and whatever, I just know that like. You gotta read the full intent of what the union is trying to do.
You gotta read the full contract. Exactly.
Before you hop on the union train. Just because they're a union doesn't mean they're there for the best interest. Sometimes unions are there to exploit workers just as much as the corporation is. So
and I agree with that. I wasn't just for unions, but my thing is just in general, companies have to start doing more to be for the workers. Like, and that's my thing when it comes to servers too. We're still on Amazon, but like even when it comes to like food servers and bartenders and all that, the companies have to start doing more in the interest of their workers, and because you can't expect like if we go. I've seen a tweet a couple weeks ago. It was some. Go ahead. I seen a tweet a couple weeks ago. It was some chick. I guess she's a bartender or waitress, and she lives in Texas. And she didn't get no tips that week or whatever. Or she did get tips. She made like maybe 300 or something off of tips. Mm-hmm. But because of whatever the minimum wage is for like food service and all that in Texas, after all the taxes and shit, guess how much her paycheck was?
What?
$9. And that's not on the customer. You telling me that you worked 70 hours in a week and you only got paid $9 outside of your tips, and that's on the customers? Bro, that's not on the customer.
Bro, let me tell you.
That's on the company.
Hold up. Let me tell. So when I worked on Marriott, I get paid. Oh, shit. I worked for BJ's a little bit too. But I'm going to just say Marriott. When I worked on Marriott, we get paid per week, right? And I was getting paid $13 for serving. Mm-hmm. Each week, my paycheck came out to like $102. Working like
you made was off of tips.
Working like 40 hours.
And the money you made was off of tips?
Most of my money were made off tips, but they taxed me a whole lot.
That's not right.
A whole lot.
It's not right.
Government.
And that,
stop taxing me. Okay. But the thing is,
that's not right.
But when it comes to tipped worker, they tax you differently than just taxing. They tax you based on the assumption of how much you make, not how much you actually make.
Now with Uber Eats, because we keep 100% of our tips and they not taxed.
Okay, but anyways, when I was working with for BJ's for like a short period, like we have to report like our cash tip, and it's just like they always assume there'll be times where my cash tip is like, for example, like $10, and on the system it wouldn't go through if I put 10. They're like, no, you were expected to make $25 in cash, and I'm like, dude, I only make fucking $10 in cash because it was just a trash fucking night.
Okay, so how is that on the customers? That's on them. They shouldn't expect that.
No, but the system isn't off the company. The system is based on the California and federal level of how much they expect to tax off tips.
Well, then that's something.
So
that
it's
the
not on the
government-
companies, it's on the fucking government.
It's on both. It's on the companies and the government.
It's on okay.
Because companies could choose to not follow
But the
that.
thing is, once you work for the company, you expect how you signed up for what you signed up for. So
Exactly.
they say they're gonna pay you $13. You know exactly what you're getting. But when it comes to the taxing, that's a whole different thing. You can't dictate how much you get taxed off your tips.
But outside of food handling, like you get paid $13 doing security, and even with the taxes and shit, you're still gonna get around $13 an hour. You might without the taxing, the $13 an hour might go down to like maybe 12 or 11,
Yeah, but with
But
the
most-
tipping, that shit will go down to like $6.
and that's not.
And I'm trying to tell you, it's not, the company has nothing to do with the way
It's
they
the
tax you.
Well, yeah, it's the government.
It's the government.
It's the government.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, we can blame a whole lot on companies and corporations, but these companies and corporations have to are putting things in place based on government standard. So if you want to change
They
what's
can
going,
fight for their workers.
if you want to change if you want to change what's good for the workers, as in terms of the corporation companies, well then the government has to do something about it on their end. Instead, you get the fucking government talking shit about companies and shit like that. Meanwhile, they ain't doing shit, and these companies are like, we're just following the rules. Same things with the fucking tax things. Don't fucking shit on me for not paying tax when your tax laws has super loopholes around it.
Okay, but you
That's
can't.
your fault.
Okay, so then my rebuttal. I mean, I agree with you, but
Bitch, if I was making Jeff
Let's-
Bezos money, I'm gonna hire a CPA and bitch do something about it.
And let's-
Where I'm not gonna pay that many taxes
and-
because we know what the fuck the government does with our tax, and they don't know how to do it well.
Exactly. Let's close this up because we've been talking about Amazon for a minute. But my
Right.
rebuttal would be like you said, you can't talk shit because of the taxes. You can't talk shit about the customers because it's not their job to pay your bills. They got to pay their own bills. Why the fuck should some broke person or whatever or a lower income person have to tip you the $10 to help pay your bill when they fucking struggling to pay bills themselves?
But just like the workers know what they're getting in themselves into, sure, we know that we're not going to get 18% tip all the time. We for sure know that. But we know that this job and this territory comes with tipping, just like the customers.
Yeah.
When you go out to eat, you know
No,
that
okay.
in this country,
Yes, that's fair. That is fair.
tipping comes with going out to eat. So you don't have to tip 18%, but if you're just not going to tip at all,
Listen, let me
when
get-
you
okay.
know it's involved,
Let me rephrase what I'm saying. It is a courtesy to tip. You should I'm not saying the customer has to go out of their way. Like if they're not like they could do average service. If it's not bad, you should at least tip them 15.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like I said, I used to not tip, but I've matured. I've learned more. But at the same time, the customer should at least tip 15%, even if it's average. But at the same time, the worker shouldn't expect that. And I'm not saying that's on the worker. That's not on the worker because food service workers deserve to get paid the actual minimum wage to where they shouldn't have to worry about tips. That's my thing. You as a food worker, you shouldn't have to worry about tips, because you're dealing with so much. You're dealing with fucking douchebags. You're dealing with all types.
but
of
I
shit,
can
drunk
argue.
people.
I can argue if you're just gonna do based on minimum wage, the minimum wage in this country is not enough to live.
That's my point. It's something.
So that's why you need tips in order to live.
It shouldn't. Okay, you're not getting my point. It shouldn't be off of tips. It should be a point to where the minimum wage for food service workers is where after you tax them, even including the tips and shit, after you tax them, like for example in Texas, the chick I just talked about, she worked 70 hours and made $9.
But when I was
Even though she
bartending,
made, but here,
when I
hold
was
on, hold on, let me
bartending,
finish.
that's kind of different money.
I
That's
get
some
it,
good
but,
money.
but let me finish. That chick worked in Texas. She might have made $300 off of tips that week, but because of whatever tips she made, she got taxed and only made $9 on her paycheck.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
That $300 that she made off of tips that went to her should just be a bonus. She should have still made the fucking $9 an hour or whatever the fuck it may be. And even if that $9 an hour working 70 hours only got her like $300, $400, $500 that week.
Yeah.
That $300 that she got off a tip should have been extra. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It shouldn't. You shouldn't have to live off of tips. Like it shouldn't be on the customers or you guys. Y'all shouldn't have to work harder to try to get these tips because they're exploiting you guys. You shouldn't have to work hard to get tips because you should just be worrying about your hourly wage. Tips are supposed to be a bonus. In any other country that's not America, tips are a bonus because they pay the workers.
Well, in America, tip is,
and that's why America's fucked up.
Tip is what you work for. When you
shouldn't be working for tips, you should be working for your hourly wage.
That industry is different.
Shouldn't be different.
With that, no. It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
But it is.
It shouldn't be.
But it is because. I don't want to spend any more time on it, but I'm just gonna say this: once you get into serving, banquet serving, any kind of serving or any kind of bartending, you get into that business for the tip. You don't get into that business for the minimum wage, and that's it.
And it shouldn't be like that. Two things. I'm gonna end it right here. Two things. One, if that's the case, then you know what you're signing up for, and I hate saying that because that sounds like you're being insensitive. Two, like I said, it relies on the companies and the government. They need to do a better job of paying their workers. It's not on the customer because the customer is going there to spend their money already. It is on the government and it is on those companies. They need to do a better job of paying their workers and protecting their workers and supporting their workers.
Well,
the consumer is already doing as much as they can by going into the restaurant. If they don't go into the restaurant, if no consumer is going to the restaurant, you're not going to get tip regardless.
Yeah, but
so you already getting the luck.
There's gonna be people to tip.
I get it.
There's gonna be people to tip.
There's always gonna be people.
And we rather have the people to tip than the people that don't.
I get that, and I get that because you're gonna get that extra money, but it shouldn't be like that. It should be like it shouldn't care. Like you shouldn't, as a server, you shouldn't care who comes in because you're either gonna, whether or not you get that tip, you're still getting paid because you're here 8 hours. If that's the case, servers.
But most of the time you're not there 8 hours. You're there like 4 or 6 hours.
You're there for a locked shift. Like even if it's 4 or 6 hours, you're there for the 4 or 6 hours. It's not like an independent worker like Uber Eats. I could go log in right now as soon as I leave your house and go work for an hour and be like, okay, I'm done and clock out. It's not like I have to choose a shift that says I have to work from 11 to 2 a.m. I could work from 11 to 12 and be like, okay, I'm going home now and just clock out. If that's the case with waiters, it should be the same way. They should be independent contractors and be able to come in when they want if they have to live off of tips because it's not fair if you're not going to pay them the hourly wage. And that's my point.
All right.
That's my home point.
All right. On to the next topic. Shit. I mean, we gone on for so long. I don't even know we can talk about the China thing. Should we just do the China next week?
No, we'll get into that right now. Let's just make The Rock short. So The Rock is running for president.
Yeah. There's
I'm not voting for that nigga. If y'all vote for him, y'all some idiots. Let's vote for the politician.
So 46% of the people said that they would vote for The Rock. Do you think out of those 46, is there a 1% chance that any Republican voted for that? Because I would say no. Because usually The Rock kind of comes out promoting
more democratic or more left value. Not left like complete left, but more progressive.
But he endorses Hillary and then he endorses Biden. So I'm gonna say the 46% who said yes that they're gonna vote for The Rock is probably Democratic, and it's not
running for president.
I don't see it either. I don't know why this talk is so entitled. I actually no, I do see it just because he's just like a polarizing figure where he feels like
okay. If it's any celebrity, we have fucking Schwarzenegger as a governor here in Cali.
Trash.
We have fucking bitch ass Trump as a president. I don't see I wouldn't be mad at The Rock because I think he has more. His head is more on his shoulders. Like his head wouldn't be up his ass. I think he would be more deliberate and make more better decisions. But
he's gonna be geared towards one side. But his thing is like I want to unite the country.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think his view is very uniting because it's more like
my thing is though
leaning toward one side rather than trying to understand both sides.
Exactly. He's still more unqualified though compared to. I'd rather just get a politician. Like if we gonna fucking. If people are talking about putting The Rock as president, why not make Bernie or why not make AOC a president? Because they have the same views as him. I'd rather AOC be a president.
No.
Why not?
No.
Why not? Don't say no. You have to give me an answer.
No. I'm good on the socialist world, but all right.
AOC is not a socialist. She's just more.
Bro, okay. I'm going to say I agreed and I like her in a few instances, but the contradiction is wild.
It's a
And the
difference. Okay,
hypocrisy is wild with her.
listen.
I'm like, you need to chill the fuck out.
Politics.
Hey, wait. Hey, tax the rich, but the sweatshirt, $70 go straight to you. All right, that's capitalism, girl.
People
that's
have
capitalism.
Okay, but don't do that. You act like people can't make money.
No, but she's gonna charge.
How much was that?
But she's gonna charge.
How much was that Barstool hoodie you bought?
Like $45. I bought it because I was supportive of small businesses. It says right here, small businesses, big dreams.
Barstool is not a small business.
But dumbass. This was the proceeds go to small businesses, and he does fucking FaceTime with businesses.
How do you know?
On the site, if you go on AOC site, you don't find a source that like takes the money. It goes straight to her because there's no donations, there's no charities, there's no nothing. So,
but that's not the point. But it's her hoodie. You acting like she's
but on the hoodie it says tax the rich, but now you're gonna charge the poor $70 for a sweatshirt?
It's a hoodie. What are you talking about? People don't. You can't do that because people go into fucking these broke people
out of here.
These quote unquote broke people go into fucking go down the Rodeo Drive and fucking spend $100 on Gucci and all this shit. So why are you getting mad at her?
Wait, Gucci's not $100.
Yes, it is.
What can you get for Gucci is $100?
That's not my point. You get the point I'm trying to make. Stop being literal. All right. Use common sense. You know what I'm trying to say.
All right.
People go and spend $70 on shit.
All right, go back to the president. Go back to the president.
People go and spend $70 on shit that.
Or if you broke, you shouldn't be saying $70 on something.
That's pocket watching. You shouldn't tell people what they should spend their hard-earned money on.
All right, you right. I'm just a little harsh on that.
I don't give a fuck if you broke or rich. You could make $1 million or $10 a month. You should be able to spend your money on whatever the fuck you want to spend it on, and nobody should have a say in that because you worked for that money.
All right.
So you can't say that.
Fair enough.
If people want to go support AOC and spend $70 on a hoodie, that's on them. I wouldn't. I'm going to spend $70 on my homie's clothes.
Right.
Shout out to... hold on. Y'all see the Soon shirt over here? Shout out.
I can't see it.
Y'all see the Soon shirt? Go ahead and Soon... SSSOONLA.com. Go ahead and hop on.
That's a long ass name. What?
Soon. That's not a long ass name. Well, anyways, that's not the point. That's not the point. Like,
all right, go ahead.
People should be able to spend their money on their.
Go back to the
like,
president.
You can't say that.
Go back to the president. Come on.
I'm not putting Rock. Rock is unqualified, bro.
Oh yeah, no, I'm over celebrities being president. We already got a run for that. I kind of don't want to rerun. I'm good and solid. I'm gonna put a pass just because.
Exactly.
With the 46%, it doesn't really give you that much like credibility. Like it doesn't really gives you a hint of like, oh, America really wants you to be president because 46 isn't even. It's 4%.
Not even a majority yet.
It's not the majority. And also like I kind of don't the next person, I really don't want that person. I know it's a pick two side things, but I wish the next person would be more centered rather than like one or the other side, just because I just feel like we need a centered person. Like I just want somebody who will try to please both sides. I just haven't got that person yet.
But that's why people.
But I'm just waiting.
But that's why people want to. That's why people want to vote a celebrity in because they think they're going to be more centered.
But The Rock isn't. So it's just
he'd probably be more centered than like an AOC, which is who I want, or a Bernie.
Yeah, AOC. We know who she is. We know who Bernie is. I like Bernie a lot. I just think his party dicked his ass.
You gonna stop disrespecting the AOC though, man?
I'm going to disrespect AOC as much as I want to disrespect AOC. You just like her because you think she pretty. That's it.
You gotta stop saying that.
The only thing I like about her is because she's feisty. I'm cool with that. I like a feisty politician.
Like besides the fact
she's
that
actually smart,
she's
but
pretty.
I like to.
Don't get me wrong.
I like to dissect the shit she say, and then
smart.
I like to do the research behind the shit she say.
But she actually has like. She don't just be saying bullshit like a lot of these politicians. Like she don't. She has meaning and she really wants to like help the country.
Right. She don't. But when she say something,
her just looking good is a plus.
Okay, whatever. I don't give a fuck about that. When she say
she
something,
could be ugly as shit. I wouldn't care.
When she say something, I'm like, okay. Then I go do the research. I'm like, okay, all right, noted. That's how I feel with AOC. There's a lot of things she said. I'm
But
like, you're a little contradicting, but okay, go ahead, girl.
but that's what all
Girl power.
politicians. But she still. I mean, as a politician, there's only so much you could do to like, be neutral. Like she has to obviously work for
Yeah.
her party. Like, come
Yeah,
on. Now.
don't talk shit on Amazon, AOC. I know you've been ordering shit from Amazon.
Everybody orders Amazon. Everybody's a hypocrite. It
Man,
don't matter.
you know she was talking hella shit by Amazon. You know she like that 2-day
I know. I
shipping.
follow her on Twitter. I seen all those tweets.
Yeah. Stop talking about your hate for corporate, tax the rich headed ass. All right.
I'm done with The Rock. I don't.
Don't tax the rich. Oh, by the way, should we even talk about the corporate tax, or are we just going back in a loophole now?
No, we'll save that for another.
Oh, we'll say okay. That's a heavy topic. But anyways,
Let's get on to Chris Cuomo and then we'll end. Oh no. Yeah. Let's get on to Chris Cuomo.
let's get on Chris Cuomo. You
Yeah,
want to talk about Chris Cuomo? What was the segment and what he said and all that?
Quick win with China.
All right, go ahead.
So pretty much, Chris Cuomo, for y'all who didn't see, he had on his show Cuomo Primetime. He was talking about the shooting and gun laws, all the shootings. Like, I think in the past 2 weeks, we pretty much had a mass shooting every day almost. I was looking at the stats. I seen somebody tweet that on social media, and I had to look it up.
Yeah, there was a lot today. There was a girl that got killed.
No. I'm not talking about just someone getting killed. I'm talking about a mass shooting where more than 4 people got killed.
Oh, okay, yeah.
For the past 2 weeks, we've almost had one every day, and that's not good.
Yeah.
And so pretty much for y'all who didn't see it, if you don't watch, I don't watch Cuomo Primetime, but I seen it on social media. But pretty much Chris Cuomo, he was on what? Good Morning America? His brother is Andrew Cuomo.
No. He's on CNN, bro.
He's on CNN? He's
Yes.
not on NBC. Okay, he's on CNN. So before he had his own show, he was just on CNN. But anyways, his brother is Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York. You already know that. But anyways, he was talking about shooting and gun laws. So here's what he said. He basically says shootings, gun laws, access to weapons. Oh, I know when they'll change. He said when your kids start getting killed. And when he said when your kids start getting killed, he was referring to white people. He said, what is going on with these police? Maybe we shouldn't even have police, he said. He said, this kind of madness, this kind of mania, that will be you. The majority of people, the majority is because it's your people. The only way, and I think he was right. Like, in he might not be right, but at the same time, I think he was right. Like, you see a lot of shit happens, but in America, the only time shit really changes is when it starts affecting white people.
Right.
And I think when it comes to all these mass shootings that's happening and all these police brutalities where black people or minority, not even just black people, because RP to, damn, I forgot his name. RB to, Adam Toledo. There we go. It just showed up right here. RP to Adam Toledo in Chicago. But we see all these minorities, blacks and Hispanics, getting killed by cops even when they're unarmed. And I mean, it happens to white people too. But we see more in social media and on the news.
Oh wait. Before you continue, I'm gonna just throw out stats. All right. In 2020, to approximately 241 black person were shot by police, and for white is 457. So go ahead.
Yeah, more white people.
So do we want that number of 457 to go up to like about 1,000 before it gets real serious, or do we want
But
to
that's not the
stay
point.
the same?
But that's not the point, because you can go on social media, and social media might be a bad place to go get your news or whatever. But you can go on social media and you can see white people brandishing guns, attacking cops with knives, pulling off on cops while they're fucking hanging on to the side of their cars. And the police never shoot them with guns. They shoot them with tasers. But when it comes to a 13-year-old Hispanic boy named Adam Toledo, when it comes to Dante Wright, when it comes to Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, Eric Gardner, Sandra Bland, all these other minorities who got killed by cops who didn't have guns, because Sandra Bland didn't have a gun. She just got smart with them because she knew her fucking laws, and they decided to do shit to her, and she died in that fucking jail cell. R.I.P. Sandra Bland. Breonna Taylor was minding her business, and the cops raided her house and shot her because they thought that she was a drug dealer. Botham Jean was sitting in his fucking underwear in his apartment on his couch, eating ice cream, watching TV, and this stupid ass cop broke into his house thinking it was her house and shot him because she thought he broke into her house. These people die, and white people fucking get tasered, fucking get tackled and restrained, and get the chance to see trial, and where black people and Hispanics and other minorities don't get the chance to see trial. So no, Chris Cuomo is right. It's gonna take a lot of these white kids who are starting to get into this gang mentality, getting in trouble and getting shot by cops. And that sounds harsh, but it's the truth.
Yeah, no, that number, that 457, gotta get to like 1,000.
That 400 don't mean shit. Yeah, you're right. It's gonna get to 1,000 because it doesn't matter. Because a lot of these white people that die probably, I mean, they have guns, but a lot of these white people that live don't have guns. And most of these black people that live that don't have guns still end up dying. And it's not, and not even just black people. It's Hispanics too. It's all minorities.
If we want to do,
it's not fair.
Hispanic in 2020 was 168. 28 was other. 126 is unknown. So I'm gonna guess that's like Asian or whatever.
Yeah, but we have to actually. I mean, we're not about to do this right now. You don't have to look that up. We'll look that up another day. But
oh no, I just want to have statistics. Just in
no.
case
Your statistics are fine. But what I was gonna say about looking up another day, like we have to look up how many out of all these people, out of the blacks, out of Hispanics, out of the whites that died, how many people are actually armed? Because it's a lot. Even in LA, what's that dude that died in Compton?
Whoa, could you argue?
R.I.P. Ryan Twyman. He died in Compton. I remember that. No, we know. I know that. I'm not gonna be mad. No, ask the question. Will you answer? I'll answer it.
Could you say that the kid was actually armed because he had a gun?
Who? The Adam Toledo?
Right.
No, look in the video. He dropped the gun and had his hands up.
Right, but could you argue that he had a gun?
You can argue that, but as a cop, you should not shoot in that split second. He threw the gun. He dropped the gun and put his hands up. You're supposed to aim that gun at him and keep it on him. And if you really think he's going to shoot. He dropped the gun and had his hands up. There's no reason for you to shoot. I don't give a fuck what you're talking about.
No, I agreed. No, he shouldn't have shot.
He shouldn't have shot.
He shouldn't have shot.
Come
but
on now.
I'm just only.
No, I get you.
I'm just only saying that because in a court of law,
I get you.
The gun
You're playing
being around the premise is taken into effect.
No, and that's true.
Like, I'm just saying
that's true. Like he's 100% right. Like when you have guns, yeah, that makes it a sticky situation. But as cops,
and also the person who he's with that fired 8 shots like a couple minutes before that also taken into effect.
And that's true. But
so I'm just only saying that in terms of the case, it doesn't like present. Because a lot of times when we're seeing these little tiny clips on social media, people jump to conclusions. I don't like to be that person who jumped to conclusions. I like to see the facts and I like to read it. That's just who I am. Like I don't like to skip to conclusion.
But here's the thing.
And so wait, hold up. And so when these things go to law to the court of law, like all these little things and all these little nuances play into effect, which is the only reason why I'm bringing it up. Because from face value, like as a human being, we see the video and we're like, why did he shoot? He shouldn't have shot. From face value, but in the court of law, everything takes into play,
But here's the thing. Like, we see these videos of all these minorities getting killed. And like you said, it's face value. Like, he shouldn't have shot. The cop shouldn't have shot, whatever it may be. But we can sit here. Hold on. What is the time? It is 9:19. It is 9:08 p.m. This podcast we got maybe one more topic and this podcast is going to end. I could sit here for 5 hours and find you clips on social media of white people charging at cops with knives, attacking cops with guns, and they still get pulled away in cuffs. I could name multiple cases where there's mass shooters, where these motherfuckers, these white people fucking kill 8,000. This is exaggeration, obviously, but they kill 8,000 fucking people, and they don't even get the chance. Their whole plan is to kill people and kill themselves, and they don't even get the chance to kill themselves because the cops take them away in handcuffs.
All right, let me.
Hold on. Why not even just black people? Like, this is not even just a black thing. Why do minorities not get that chance to be taken away in handcuffs? It's not fair. It's not fair. Like, you could say all the laws, you could say all that bullshit. It doesn't matter because it's not fair. Because white people be in front of cops waving knives, waving guns, like, go ahead, fucking kill me. I'm gonna shoot you right now, kill me.
Right.
And these cops pull out their tasers and taser them.
What about
But when it comes to minority, they pull out their gun. It's not fair. They need better training. We need better cops.
Okay, so when you say you go on social media and you look and all that, so when you do go and you look for all the videos, right? Tell me if you can find the 457 white people that were shot by cops. Could you find that, or the media doesn't really post that?
The media might not post that. And don't get me wrong, they should probably post that more. No, don't get me wrong. They should post that more. They should
post it, right? They should plaster it just like they plaster everything else, but they don't.
But how do you know that these 400 people that are white people that are getting killed by cops? And don't let me
because
hold on. How do you know they didn't deserve it?
My thing is like,
how do you know these 400 white people that are getting killed by cops?
I mean, some of them probably deserve it. Some of them don't. But my thing is that, like, instead of doing the blaming, I'm just trying to be fair here. Like, statistics tells the story here. You know,
statistics don't tell the story.
Stats don't lie. We always say that, especially
stats do lie. No, stats do lie. We can take this back to sports when it comes into like all the fucking the analysts and the fucking people who work for the NBA and like tell like, well, okay, Rui Hachimura, the dude for the Wizards, for an example, they told this nigga, fucking, you're better off fucking shooting fucking spot up mid range, and he's more of a pick and roll dude, getting to the basket, dunking. The analyst, the analyst who never played basketball in their life told this dude that he has a better shot of fucking just pulling up mid range, pick and popping, than doing what he's been fucking skilled at his whole life. And they're wrong. And that's the same thing. Stats do not tell the truth.
But you can't go off of stats. I don't trust. The reason why I say that, because I don't trust these social medias, because I just feel like they're creating like a race like thing among all of us, and it's like through all these videos.
You're right,
and it's like they're picking and choosing which one is being publicized and which one isn't being publicized.
You're right,
and the one that are being publicized is ultimately like creating like a stir among the minorities versus the majority, and that's the biggest.
Listen, okay,
fight
let me put it
that you can create.
You have to look at that stat. Yes, more white people have died than anybody, but that doesn't mean that they just died. When you see black people die on the news, we'll just use black people. When you see black people, all the black people that have recently died on the news, these people are innocent. Look at fucking Mike Brown. Look at Trayvon Martin. Look at Alton Sterling, Botham Jean. Tamir Rice, the little 12-year-old that got killed because he had a water gun or like a BB gun, and the cops came and shot him. He's a little 12-year-old in his front yard playing with a toy gun, and the cops came and shot him. You can't say that. You can't use stats because it's not fair. Because look at for example, the white dude, this black dude was in South Carolina just jogging around his neighborhood, and the white dude, the Army veteran, said,
"Yeah,
you don't live
here." They went
to
jail, right?
He got arrested,
but
that's not the point. He came and said, we never seen you before. Get the fuck out of our neighborhood. He's so
that's
teenager.
Wrong.
Like you can't do that because the cops, like, they really like, the statistics don't matter when they're really like when they'll be on their bullshit.
I know. I'm only just saying it from like,
I get you,
I'm just trying to find a fair point here. Like, I'm not. I just don't want to be the person who's quick to judge and quick to skip to conclusion, and I just don't like to be
quick to judge.
I don't like to be the person who skips to the conclusion and don't have my facts and stats right, because like at the end of the day, like, I'm not gonna be a credible person if that's just ultimately I'm just going off on emotions, and I like sometimes I will go off on emotions, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to be wrong all the time when I go off on emotion and I say some shit, and then somebody fact check me and I'm like, oh, maybe I was wrong all this time, and maybe I wasn't open to this other side of the investigations where there's just a little bit more than what we're seeing in the public eye. And the public eye has, and we said it last week, right? There's just a lot of shit that's going on that just seems like it's a stir, and it's a creation of like what could be like a civil war amongst each other. I just feel like there's a lot more good people in this world, and especially our country, than there's bad ones. But the bad one is being amplified a lot more.
but at the same time, the bad people are doing the most harm. So we have and I mean, you like you said, you grew up mainly in Vietnam. You came here when you were elementary school, so you didn't live here your whole life. And I'm not like that. But you get them.
That's
like,
true. No, it's true. It's true.
But my point is like, it's
Sorry.
different over
Excuse
here.
I should have looked away when that
No,
happened.
you're good. No, you're good. But it's different over here. Like, I mean, America is so different. Like, we have to stick up for each other because the white people, not just the white. I don't want to say white people.
No,
not all white people are bad, and that's
No.
the thing. But
See, that's where it's at though. It's like how long could we blame this one race for all the historic bad things that they've done though?
Well, I mean, white people have done a lot of bad shit.
They have done a lot of bad shit, but how longer could we hold on to that? Like
When white people start accepting, when more white people, then when there's more white people that accept the bad shit they did, then it's still a lot of races. Like races are still a minority, but it's still a lot of races. So when more
when you say that, then I can say the topic that we're gonna get onto. I don't even know if we have enough time, but yeah, no. So I was just trying to transition into like
pretty much to sum it up. Chris Cuomo is right. Police reform and all that shit isn't gonna come until more white people, not just white people, because that, like we said, that stat, yeah, a lot of white people die, but when more white kids, when more young white people start getting killed by cops for the same reason that minorities are getting killed, that's the only time police reform is gonna come. So just to sum it up, we gotta get on to the next topic.
For the cases that isn't based on committing crimes. Let's stick with that.
Not even that. You shouldn't be killed even whether you're white, black, Hispanic, or Asian. You shouldn't be killed for committing a crime. The whole point of cops is to, unless like unless
your arm and all that. Yeah. No, I'm saying
at the cops. That's different. But like,
I'm saying putting those cases aside.
I don't give a fuck what race you are. You can be white as fuck. You could be lily white. You could be white as his jacket. You should not be killed for killed for committing a crime unless you're actually a threat to the cops or a threat to civilians and you're killing people like how mass shooters do. So to end it, we just need a better police reform. No matter what you think, no matter what side you're on, it has to be better. But let's move on to
all right, to our last topic of the day. I don't even know how to tackle this, just because like there's nothing to debate. It's just something that
I'm pretty sure everybody would agree on this.
Yeah, it's just something that it's just wild to me. Nobody really talked about it. It's not really been said.
It's been talked about, but not really.
It's not plastered, because if you do talk about it, you'll get probably a ban or demonetized or whatever. I hope we don't fucking get it for that.
Well, we didn't even monetize yet, so we can't get demonetized if we're not monetized.
True. But it's the whole hidden aspect of China not really allowing the world to know what's currently going on in Xinjiang. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
But Asian, you should be saying it right.
I'm Vietnamese, bro. You don't understand how much we hate Chinese people. God damn it. I don't hate Chinese people. I hate the Chinese government. Let's make that clear.
Yeah, because a lot of people
fucked my country up.
Listen,
flip this over.
Get this off because a lot of people
put our butt up in the air and fucked us behind and just cummed all over us and just threw us to the curb.
Listen, this is his topic. I'm gonna speak on it, but I'm gonna let him get this off because a lot of people I know think that this man just hates Chinese people. He doesn't hate.
I don't hate Chinese people. I hate communist.
He's Asian
party.
himself. What he hates is the Communist Party and the Chinese government. So
right,
I'm gonna let him get this shit off. And I agree with him in this topic. I mean, well, China be on some bullshit anyways, but I agree with him in this topic. Like,
I mean, the amount of bullshit they've been on that isn't being documented because they haven't said anything.
China is they're not as bad as North Korea, but they might as well be.
They're worse.
Shit, they might as well be.
They're worse.
But go ahead.
They're about to bomb Taiwan real soon.
exactly. And that might start World War III, but that's a different.
Yeah.
A different podcast.
If that shit happens, good buckle up because World War III about to happen.
It's not gonna happen because China is not as strong as America. I don't give a fuck what. They're not.
Don't even get into this debate.
They're not.
I personally think if the war will happen right now,
we're winning.
No.
You think?
Dude, you don't
winning?
understand how much. You don't understand how powerful and crazy China is. I think. Okay,
you know understand where we live at, right?
Skip that topic.
You live in the United States of America,
right? And I think we are fucking strong. But the thing is,
China's not stronger than us.
China's
not stronger than us.
With any strong, it's just like a fighter or anything. Once you start to think that you're invincible and you're untouchable, that's when you're the weakest.
China's not stronger than us, even at this point. I'm letting you know right now. I'm letting you know. Listen, no, I agree with you, but China's not.
They're second.
We are gonna destroy them if we get into a war.
Bro, but
it's not even going to be close because it's going to end the world, and China knows
they have like stupid. 1 billion people compared to us, and like they have a lot more committed soldiers than our country do.
I understand that, but you have to forget about all the propaganda that China and North Korea has. They do not have as many nuclear weapons as us, and the fucking even nuclear weapons, they don't have as many weapons as us. We will destroy them, and I'm not even trying to sound biased. Like it's not.
I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk.
It's not going to be a cakewalk, but
it's not going to be a cakewalk. It's going to be a 50 and 50 battle.
It's not. China doesn't want these problems. They don't.
China definitely want these problems.
Do you see what happened the last time when we was chilling and Japan attacked Pearl Harbor?
Bro, that's different. That's Japan. We are talking about China.
We are more advanced. We are 12,000 times more advanced than we were when World War II happened.
You are underestimating the amount of powers.
I might be, but do you really think you're underestimating America?
I'm not I'm not underestimating.
Bro.
I am not underestimating.
We'll be fine.
No, the notion.
No nuclear war is gonna happen because
they have so many spies in our country that is sucking up our government's dick by the balls.
Guess what happens if
getting insiders.
Guess what happens if World War III happens? And I don't want to sound racist.
Bro, I don't know if we're gonna win.
We're gonna win.
We have more allies. I'll give you that. We have more allies than not.
Listen.
But the fact that you think it's a cakewalk, I
don't think it's a cakewalk. We could talk about this off camera, but I'm letting you know right now, they're not gonna win. They're not. If we get into a World War III with China, don't you think like China does so much? Oh my God, excuse me. China does so much fuck shit that their citizens are more likely to side with us and rebel against them during the war.
Just Hong Kong.
Not the whole China.
No, they have their country by the balls grip, and most of the people there hate Americans.
I'm letting you know right now. If we get into a world war and it's the main thing is between us and China,
I think you're holding on to the 1970s and the 1960s and the 1940s of the United States.
No, I'm holding on. I'm holding on to the fact.
I don't think you know or has the grasp of how big China has grown as far as military wise.
No, I understand how big they grown, but do you understand how big we grown intelligence and weapon wise?
Well, no, I think we remain.
You're not grasping onto that.
Stagnant as far as the last decade or so.
Intelligence and weapon, maybe like army wise, and number wise, yes. Intelligence and weapon. No, I promise.
I don't think you've done enough study on China.
I have. Bro, you can't listen. China might be more advanced than North Korea, but you have to.
They're way more advanced.
Let's
not even put North Korea in the same topic.
Just let me finish. Let me finish. China might be more advanced than North Korea, but you have to take everything that both of those countries say with a grain of salt, because you have to remember these are communist countries. They're not. They spew propaganda. Propaganda.
Propaganda, yeah.
Like. A lot of the shit they say is I'm not gonna say it's bullshit, but like
they don't say a lot.
Maybe not China, but
China don't say nothing. China keep it on the low key. But the thing when it comes to China is they don't say nothing. So therefore, if they do say anything, you don't take anything they say serious, and everything they say is a lie. What you do have to base on is to study around.
But you have to take it with a grain of salt. Like you can't take it serious, but you can't joke about it, but they're not stronger than America. I'm sorry.
All right.
We are the like.
Okay, we can disagree on that.
We could disagree.
Okay. Actually, we agreed. They're not stronger than America.
Like exactly.
They're not stronger than America, but they have a very good chance of beating us if anything happens.
Okay, but we know how America is. When America is desperate when it comes to the government.
Not the way our country is right now. Divided as we are, which is exactly how they want us to be.
With the military.
Which is
that has nothing to do with the military.
I know, but
that has nothing to do with the government. Like I get we are divided. They don't give a fuck about you take the military and they want to come home to their families. They don't give a fuck about that. They will destroy China.
Motherfuckers, we need to pull back on Afghanistan. We need to pull back on the whole thing.
A lot of troops are leaving
just Afghanistan, but we're not gonna pull out Iran. We're not gonna pull out South.
By the next couple of years, I think
we need
the
oil. Let's
that's true.
That's true.
No, you're right.
We need the oil.
That's true.
And as fucked up as that sound, we are there for the oil and strictly for the oil.
No, you 100%.
Yeah, let's not even start on the 9/11 conspiracy.
I'm not worried about no World War III happening with China because, like, yeah, they might have the more soldiers, but we're way more advanced.
I think right now we're in a cold war with China, in so to speak. I know for a fact we're in a trade war with China. For a matter of fact,
we're not in a cold war with China because they don't want that smoke.
Well, they want Taiwan first, and then after Taiwan, we speak.
They're not gonna get Taiwan because they don't want that smoke. If they do get Taiwan,
all right, man. We can be hopeful, but let's get into.
Do you understand? When we was in a cold war with Russia, both America and Russia did not. If America and Russia would have went into a cold war, that would have ended the world. Chinese people are not that stupid.
Don't even speak about Cold War in our country right now. I mean, not Cold War. I don't even speak about Russia and where we at with Russia.
Well, Russia's chilling now. I mean, we might have problems with Russia.
We have problems with Russia.
They're not trying to go to war.
But Russia ain't beating us. I know that for our
one,
fact, Russia's not beating us.
One, they're not beating us, and two, even if they could beat us, they're not stupid. They're not trying to end the world.
Yeah.
Anyways, they have more plans to do better shit than end the world.
But let's
Chinese might be a little more stupid, but they're still not that stupid. They're not going to end the world. That's my point.
They have a long-term plan of like taking over the world dominance by 2045, I believe.
It's not going to happen. It's not
Okay.
gonna happen.
Well, I mean, we're still gonna be alive. So if you want to put that bet down, I'll put $100. Probably by that time, $100 don't ain't gonna mean much.
It's not gonna
but
happen.
I'll put that $100 down. The rate this going,
it's not gonna happen.
It's not looking good for us.
It isn't. But it's not gonna happen. I'm letting you know right now.
All right. Well, I mean, we can be a U.S. home all we want.
Like you have to remember, like when it comes to democracy, it's not just America. We have the whole UK, half of Europe on our side. China just has China, and maybe Russia, and maybe North Korea. But that's all they have.
But
we have way more allies. Like the world, it's not gonna happen. I'm letting you know right now. And that's just me being shallow. I could go into detail, but let's get into this topic. But I'm letting you know it's not gonna happen. I'm just saying, don't underestimate a true. You can't underestimate China.
A true communist
because China
party
is a powerhouse
with
still.
Yeah, with a lot of. But let's get into.
China's not North Korea. Let me.
They're beyond North. They're beyond that.
Way more educated. Way more
advanced.
Technological, whatever the word, advanced.
But let's get to the issue that that most people aren't talking about is that the fact that Chinese people are holding captives of Uyghur Muslim, approximately I think a million or two of them in captive in the province area of Xinjiang. I can't say that shit right.
XINJIANG. Xinjiang.
Yeah, whatever it is.
That place.
But anyways, it's not really been talked about, and it's in this country, rightfully so, we don't talk about it just because it's in China and a lot of things are never being published and it's kind of like out of control. But I just really want to talk about this just because, we kind of talk about how white people are always, screwing up and messing up the world. But here you go having an Asian country that's known for just destroying.
Well, China has always been behind the ball. Like they have laws where you fucking. I mean, I could be inaccurate. People can Google this, but I'm pretty sure China has laws where you can only have a certain amount of children. If you have girls, they can kill them or some shit like that.
it used to be the you can't have girls law, but
Yeah,
that's
China's always been
that's
behind
been
the bar.
old. But the thing is, this is a modern day almost compared to a genocide as it gets. That they're holding captive a entire religion.
Are they actually killing them?
They're basically doing the same thing because this whole city is. You watched the documentary I sent you, right?
It's pretty much locked down.
They're pretty locked down, and they have a system where they're scanning their faces. Their phones are always tapped in. They can't use the same access as a regular civilian there. They have to go through a different side anytime they're entering or exiting the country, but they can't exit the country. And they're teaching them a brand new language supposedly,
But trying to force them to not be Muslim no more.
Right, they're trying to slowly strip them away from their religion and away from their culture.
So I got a question. Hold on, before we get deep into this, because we can get deep into this. But,
Okay.
So are these people like? And this might sound like a stupid question, but like, so are these Asians that are Muslim in this area? Is that basically like the end of like the Ottoman Empire? I know the Ottoman Empire started like in Asia, in that area. Those were the original Muslims, the Ottomans.
No, I think no. These are from the neighboring countries that now China.
Okay, so like the Ottoman Empire, because all the neighboring countries around
right
Eastern Asia, those were the Ottomans.
I can't pronounce
those were the
it, but
original Muslims. Kyrgyzstan or whatever.
Kyrgyzstan and
that might be wrong, but
Kazakhstan.
Okay, so yeah,
so the
like
neighboring. So basically,
that's that's like the Ottoman Empire.
Yeah. So
original Muslims.
So Xinjiang is basically a Xinjiang is a Chinese province that's the nearest neighbor to Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Kazakhstan.
That sounds about right then.
Right. So in their leeway of trying to gain more land for their people, they're taking over these very, very uncivilized area where a majority of these Muslims reside, and they're taking them over, and they're creating land, and they're stripping them away from the religion. And this is a way where they can slowly expand their landscape, just because they're such a populated country where now the most important thing is to conquer more land, which is why they're trying to conquer Taiwan, which is another land space that offers them a lot of trade value.
But didn't China already own Taiwan?
Yes, that's what the
They also own these land where all these Uyghur Muslims are at.
Right. So it didn't used to be that way, but it's starting to become that way. And so they never allow these Uyghur Muslim to leave the country because they feel like if they do leave the country, then it kind of takes away the power of them. It's kind of like the United States, but times that by 3 because they're actually keeping all these people in captive borderline.
So my thing is, if they don't like these people, why not just let them leave the country?
Because
my fault. Let me say that into the mic. If they don't like these people, why not just let them leave the country?
Because they don't like them. They feel like the Muslim culture is a threat to their society.
Are most Chinese like?
They're very racist.
They're like, no, not racist. Are they like Buddhists?
Most Chinese people are Buddhist or Christian, I believe.
Are Christian?
I know we're a lot of Buddhists in
okay,
our
so let's take
country,
hold on. You guys are Buddhists. I get it. Most Asians are Buddhists. Take Buddhism out. Are you telling me most Chinese people are Christian?
No, there's percentage of Chinese people that are Christian.
Are Christian. Christianity.
You dude, there's a lot of Christianity in Vietnam.
And I'm confused because Christianity is basically the same root as Islam, as Muslims.
Oh, let's not even go there. It's not the same.
We believe in the same God.
Okay. Actually, you are, so you can
Christian,
say that.
So that's
a complicated. That's a complicated.
I'm letting you know right now. We believe Christians and Muslims, Catholics, fucking Orthodox, Presbyterians, all them motherfuckers, Lutherans. We all believe in the same God. Which is Jesus Christ or God. So I don't get the if most Chinese people are Christian or Buddhist, take away the Buddhism, they're Christian. So what is the point? Y'all believe? I mean, I get the no. Not it's not like they're Jews.
Well, there's approximately
Muslim.
7.4 percent of Chinese people are Christian.
27, that's
Six.
not a lot then.
Chinese folk religionists is 30%, which is majority of them, and
It's probably like Buddhism. Or
agnostic. No, 16% is Buddhism. But that's and then 1.8 is Muslim in the country. But they're definitely not very favorite to the Muslims' culture because they're really trying to push them aside and really trying to control them and dictate where their life goes. But the thing is, the reason why they're controlling that group is that so now the more land and people you conquered, the more power you have. So if you take those people away from their actual culture, and the more you put your influences on them, that's how you divide and conquer. You don't conquer if you don't divide. And by doing this is dividing from their people.
What China has to learn is this isn't fucking 1674. This is 2021. Like
I know, but the thing is,
that. It's not gonna work. Like people, if they really believe in that religion or whatever, they're not just gonna. Like people are, it's the whole, like people can leave China. Like I get like it's hard for those the Uyghurs to leave China and all that, and the Kazakhs and all that.
Because they can't leave them.
If Mexicans can, and
no, let's not compare our border in China. Let's not.
I'm not gonna compare our border in China, but no offense. But like if Mexicans could get out of Mexico, or not even just Mexicans, if South.
But you saw the doc.
I did, but
there was no way they could have got out that bitch. There was no way.
You can get out. If Africans can get out of Africa and all the bullshit that happens in Africa and still be refugees from Somalia and all these other wars, Ethiopia, Tigray,
China's a different beast.
It's not.
The way they have their country and
people get out all the time though from China in these situations. It's not a lot, but people get out. I've seen the documentary. People got out. What are you talking about?
The doc, nobody got out. The dude never got in. The dude was from the outside.
I'm not okay, but people in that specific province. I'm just talking about China.
But that province is where they keep them captive because that province is the nearest to the Turkestan and Pakistan.
If people could get out of Cuba, and Cuba, no, don't do that.
Yeah, no, Cuba is
just as bad as China. So if people could get out of Cuba,
but Cuba isn't as strong as China though. Cuba doesn't have the resources, doesn't have the intelligence.
People can get out of Cuba,
but Cuba doesn't have AI and intelligence and cameras.
I know. China be on that fuck shit. No, I already know. Like they got that shit where
technology.
Their whole society is based off of that. Like if they got the cameras and if you're doing bad shit, it's like the
and even the dollar UN are now there is centralized tracking people and everything. And did you know? Don't even get me started on their.
If you really want to get out bad, and this is horrible. I'm not trying to sound insensitive. If you really want to get out bad enough, you're gonna get out.
All right, I just don't think so. But
I trust me.
Do we want to put a cap on this? I know we didn't get nowhere with this conversation.
We keep talking for a little more.
No, I think
think so.
We're well enough time. But at the end of the day, the only reason why I want to talk about this is just simply fuck China. And I think people should open their eyes a little bit bigger onto what is going on in that country and question a little bit more. And don't think just because
China do be on that bullshit.
Don't think just because you're criticizing it, you're doing it because you're like racist to Asian people. No. A lot of us Asian people don't fuck with the Chinese Communist Party.
Nobody fucks with China.
Nobody. My country has been bent the fuck over and fucked by China for the last 45 years now. You think I give a shit about China? I don't. So like you're not being racist by calling it the Kung flu and the China flu. Just call it for what it is.
Wait. Time out.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna let that slide. Don't say anything.
Don't call it the Kung flu or China.
Okay. It's China virus.
He can get away with that. It's not the China virus.
It came from China, so it must be China and it's a Chinese virus.
It's not China.
Because we call the UK strain. So could we call it a Chinese strain?
No, because of what the Asian hate is making it seem like.
Oh, okay.
It's not just Asian. It's not just
tying that to the Asian hate. I'm tying it to the facts, and it came from China, so it must be.
But it's Chinese
virus.
I get you, but it's not just their fault. Like, it's not just China's fault. Everybody else could have did stuff to prevent COVID from happening, so I can't let you do that. But that's a whole different conversation. But he is right. Fuck China.
Yeah.
Fuck China. China
All
be
right.
on some bullshit. We already know what China be on, man. Like,
Yeah. Can you
like,
and
you
can
gotta do your research.
and,
China be on bullshit.
and-
They don't even let people have
and
like female women kids
right
because
and
of
can
the
you
bullshit.
can you leave my country alone? Vietnamese people has been going through a heck. We can't even protest. Y'all beat us down. You put us in jail. You slapped us. You cut us. You murder us when we protest. We can't even protest.
Pardon.
We can't even protest in our country. So like China, please leave our country the fuck alone because you've done enough pain to our country. I can't even. My mom couldn't even go back to Vietnam for a little bit because of some Facebook post, and she got fucking alert from the Chinese Communist Party that she couldn't fucking go to Vietnam.
Specifically her.
Specifically her and everybody who was like reposting and talking about the Vietnam protests
If she
against.
went back to Vietnam, they're gonna kill her. I'm being dead ass.
They're
I'm
gonna
not
detain
trying to
her.
joke. Oh, well,
They're
so
gonna
they was
detain
kill
her. So there was, I think,
Pretty
like
much, they was
a
gonna kill
year
her.
and a
So I'm
half
glad
back,
your
there
mom
was like
didn't go back to
a
Vietnam.
year and a half back, there was a protest that happened in Vietnam, and it was basically like Vietnamese against the Chinese Communist Party, and they were like trying to kick the Chinese Communist Party out from taking over their land and selling their lands off and building shit off of their land and kicking people out of their homes, and people got beat the fuck up for like 3-4 days straight to the point where my family called and was like, nobody wanted to protest because nobody wants to die because it seems like every day they're just killing people left and right for just protesting. So
That's how it is overseas.
I don't have any respect for the Chinese Communist Party whatsoever because it's been going long enough. We've been dealing with Chinese Communist Party since the 1970s, ever since they won the war. So I have zero respect. So I can say what the fuck I want to say. If people want to call me racist to Chinese people, sure. But
You're Asian. You can't be racist. That'd be like
I got a lot of dirt on that country. Anyways, we're gonna cap this bitch off. Episode 14. Can't Tell Me Nothing podcast. Like, subscribe. Actually, I fucks with the jersey a lot. It looks nice.
Hey, this shit clean, isn't it? You see this?
Yeah.
Clean, man.
Oh, since when did they start doing the Jordan logo on things?
Well, what are you talking about? Jordan.
I thought it was on. Oh yeah, no,
Charlotte.
but they start doing it with other teams too, though.
Yeah, but
The city jersey.
okay, but yes,
Right?
you're right. But specifically because he's a owner
yeah.
of the Bobcats.
How
so
come? How
they're
come?
sponsored
How
by
come
Jordan.
when you buy the jersey, there's no sponsor logo? Because there's a sponsor logo, right?
It's not fucking soccer.
I'm just
I want
saying.
to see all that. I want to see
Mo-
fucking.
Motherfucker, if I'm gonna buy a jersey, I expect to be the same jersey as what they
it's
wear
not
on
gonna
the.
have it's not gonna have the replicas don't have the sponsor jerseys on them.
Oh,
I mean
it's
the
a rep-
sponsor logos.
Could
on
you? Okay.
them. You can get like.
You can get the real one, right?
Well, this is a real one. Don't get.
But you can get the one that they actually wear, right?
with, like the sponsor logos. I don't
Yeah.
think so. I think
No?
even the
They don't-
replicas now
They don't
have
sell that shit.
not with the sponsor logo for the fans. I don't think it has a sponsor logo.
Oh,
Nobody want to. I don't fucking want GoDaddy on my fucking chest.
I don't know, but
I'm
if
not
I was
saying they sponsor by
hey, if I
GoDaddy.
was the Clippers, I want that Bumble sign.
I don't want that shit on there. No, I don't want that shit on there.
I
Just
want
give
the
me
Bumble
jersey.
sign, bitch.
Nah, just give me the jersey.
I want the. It's kind of funny how like the Clippers sign with the Bumble.
like with the Lakers jersey, they don't have Wish on it. If you buy a replica,
right.
even if you go to the Lakers store in El
Why
Segundo,
the fuck is our shit Wish anyways?
because Wish makes a lot of money. It's
I
like
guess.
fucking GoDaddy. I mean, not GoDaddy. It's like fucking eBay almost.
Whatever. All right. Anyways, that's the end of our episode. Make sure you like, subscribe. We'll see you next week. We're out.